Have you ever looked at your birth date and wondered if it was more than just a number on a calendar? What if the day you entered this world quietly encoded a spiritual blueprint that has been guiding your choices, relationships, fears, dreams, and hidden strengths your entire life? What if the universe placed a secret signature on your soul before your first breath, and that signature still whispers through every major decision you make today? Ancient mystics believed numbers were never random, and each one carried a sacred vibration capable of shaping destiny in ways most people never notice. Some people walk through life feeling drawn toward leadership, while others naturally heal broken hearts, create beauty, uncover truth, or challenge everything. Society tells them to accept these patterns may not be accidents, and tonight you may discover that your birth date reveals a spiritual identity you have unknowingly been living for years. As this journey unfolds, you may hear descriptions that feel uncomfortably accurate, as if someone has been reading the pages of your private thoughts. And when that happens, do not ignore it, because sometimes truth feels strange before it feels familiar. By the end of this story, you may never look at your birthday the same way again, and what you discover in the next few moments may explain why your soul has always felt different from everyone around you. Those born on the 1st, 8th, 15th, and 26th carry the powerful energy of the warrior. These individuals are not ordinary dreamers waiting for life to hand them opportunity, because they chase what they want with relentless intensity from a young age. They often feel pressure to become strong faster than others, and life tends to place them in situations where weakness feels dangerous. They are ambitious in ways people admire, but also secretly fear, because once they decide they want something, very little can stand in their way. Arguments become battlefields where their sharp thinking and fearless words can leave opponents speechless and emotionally exhausted. Yet beneath their intimidating exterior exists a deeply protective heart that only a few people ever get to see. Their sarcasm often becomes armor, because revealing vulnerability feels far more dangerous than fighting an external enemy. They become possessive over people they love, because loyalty means everything to them, and betrayal cuts deeper than most can understand. Many warriors spend years fighting the world before realizing their greatest battle has always been within themselves, and what happens when a warrior finally turns inward may completely transform everything they thought power truly meant. When life becomes quiet, the warrior faces shadows nobody else can see: their fears, their anger, their regrets, and the painful memories they buried beneath success begin demanding attention. At first they resist, because external victories feel easier than internal healing, but eventually life forces them into solitude where they must confront every unresolved emotion they tried to outrun. This spiritual transformation becomes their true awakening, because they learn that discipline is not just about conquering goals, it is about mastering reactions, controlling impulses, and choosing peace over destruction. The strongest warriors become protectors rather than conquerors, and leaders rather than dictators. Their ambition evolves from personal success into a mission that uplifts families, communities, and even strangers. When this transformation happens, people stop fearing their power and begin respecting their wisdom. But not every powerful soul is meant to fight. Some born to heal wounds invisible to the human eye. Those born on the 2nd, 6th, 16th, and 23rd carry the sacred energy of the healer. These souls enter the world with emotional sensitivity so deep that they often absorb the feelings of everyone around. They can walk into a room and instantly feel tension, sadness, joy, anxiety, or hidden pain without anyone saying a word. While others call this emotional weakness, it is actually one of the rarest spiritual gifts a person can possess. Their kindness often appears in quiet forms, through comforting conversations, unexpected support, and the ability to make people feel safe. They are naturally drawn toward helping broken people, even when it drains their own energy. This creates dangerous patterns where they prioritize everyone else while silently neglecting themselves. Mood swings often happen because they struggle to separate their emotions from the emotions they absorb from others. Many healers feel misunderstood because people expect endless compassion without realizing how much emotional weight they carry, and the moment they learn the painful lesson of boundaries, their life begins changing forever. The healer eventually discovers that saving everyone is impossible. They learn that some people enjoy being rescued, but refuse to heal themselves. This realization breaks their heart, because their deepest desire is to Remove suffering from the world, but true spiritual growth teaches them that healing is not self-sacrifice, it is balance. Between compassion and self-preservation, they begin protecting their peace, choosing relationships carefully, and recognizing emotional manipulation faster than before. As they grow stronger, their gift becomes even more powerful, because they help from abundance rather than exhaustion. Their words become medicine, their presence becomes comfort, and their love becomes unforgettable. People often remember a healer long after they leave because true kindness creates permanent emotional fingerprints. But while healers repair broken hearts, another group spends life chasing the secrets of existence itself. Those born on the 3rd, 9th, 18th, and 25th embody the powerful archetype of the sage. These individuals are deeply connected to knowledge and often feel different because their curiosity never seems to rest. As children, they ask questions adults struggle to answer, and as adults, they continue searching for hidden truths. They are naturally attractive not always because of physical appearance, but because intelligence creates a powerful magnetic presence. People are drawn toward them for advice, perspective, and wisdom. They often do not realize they possess challenges, do not break them because they understand that suffering often contains lessons. Disguised as pain, they are highly intelligent, but also deeply intuitive, allowing them to understand both logic and emotion sometimes. Their impulsive nature surprises people because even wise souls crave adventure and unpredictable experiences. They are not satisfied with surface-level conversations and constantly seek meaning in everything they encounter. And when a sage uncovers a truth most people ignore, they face a dangerous choice that changes everything. The sage must decide whether to stay silent or reveal uncomfortable truths. Speaking truth often attracts criticism because people prefer comforting lies over painful reality. Many sages lose friendships because they refuse to pretend ignorance, but their spiritual purpose is not popularity. It is awakening minds trapped inside fear and limitation. Through teaching, writing, speaking, and mentoring, they help others discover deeper meaning in life. Their wisdom grows stronger through shared experiences and honest conversations. The greatest sages understand that knowledge without compassion becomes arrogance, and compassion without truth becomes weakness. But while some are born to understand life, others are born to create entirely new realities. Those born on the 4th, 10th, 17th, and 27th carry the extraordinary spirit of the Creator. These souls see possibilities where others see emptiness. Their imagination transforms ordinary experiences into extraordinary visions. They often appear humble, yet their minds are overflowing with ideas capable of changing industries, art, cultures, and communities. People may mistake their quiet moments for laziness without realizing these periods are creative incubation. Inside their minds, entire worlds are being built. While others assume nothing is happening, they work hardest when inspired by passion rather than pressure. Their style, thoughts, and personal expression often feel unique because conformity suffocates their spirit. They maintain childlike wonder even after experiencing painful disappointments, and soon you will discover why their creativity may actually be their deepest spiritual calling. Now everything you have felt, everything you have noticed, everything that has been building inside you reaches a point where it can no longer stay hidden. This is not just another moment, this is the moment where everything begins to reveal itself in a way that feels undeniable. Your thoughts are no longer scattered. Your attention is no longer drifting. Your awareness is fully locked into what is happening right now. And that is exactly where this needed to take you, because the truth cannot be seen in distraction, it can only be seen in stillness, and right now you are completely present, whether you realize it or not. This is the space where clarity enters. This is the space where confusion dissolves, and something real begins to take shape inside you. You are no longer searching anymore, you are recognizing patterns, recognizing feelings, recognizing something that has always been there but never fully understood. And as this recognition grows, it begins to shift the way you see everything around you. This is the beginning of the realization you have been unknowingly waiting for. Think about everything that brought you here, every moment of doubt, every delay, every unanswered question, every time you felt like nothing was moving forward. It all seemed disconnected at the time. It all felt random, frustrating, meaningless even. But now something inside you is starting to connect those moments together, like pieces of a puzzle forming a complete picture. And that picture is not Chaotic, it is not broken. It is precise, it is intentional, it is leading somewhere. And right now you are finally seeing the direction clearly, not because something outside changed, but because something inside you has shifted. This is the moment where you stop asking why and start understanding how everything played its role. Nothing was wasted, nothing was pointless, nothing was truly lost. It was all preparation. It was all movement, even when it looked like stillness. And this realization alone is powerful enough to change the way you move forward from this point on. There is a calmness beginning to settle inside you, not the kind that comes from comfort, but the kind that comes from understanding, a deep, steady awareness that something is aligning in a way that does not need force, does not need control, does not need struggle. This is where things begin to flow naturally, where resistance starts to fade and clarity begins to guide your next steps. And you may not have all the answers yet, but you no longer feel lost. You no longer feel disconnected from your own direction, because something inside you has awakened to the truth that you were never as far away as you thought you were. You were always moving closer, even in moments where it felt like you were standing still. And now that movement is becoming visible, now that direction is becoming clear, now that path is unfolding right in front of you, here is where the final dangerous hook appears, because this is the exact point where everything becomes real. Not just a feeling, not just an idea, but something you can no longer ignore or push away. This is the moment where you either accept what you are realizing, or you try to go back to what felt familiar, even if it was unclear. And most people at this stage choose to step back, because clarity brings responsibility, clarity demands action, clarity removes excuses. But you have come too far to step back now. You have felt too much, you have understood too much to pretend that nothing changed. So now the only real option left is to move forward with what you have realized, to carry this awareness beyond this moment into your life, because this is not meant to stay here. This is meant to change something in you permanently. As you stay with this feeling, as you allow this realization to settle deeper, something even more powerful begins to happen. Your perspective starts to shift, not just about this moment, but about everything. Situations that once felt confusing begin to make sense. Choices that once felt difficult begin to feel clear. It is like a fog lifting slowly, revealing a path that was always there but hidden behind uncertainty. And now you can see it, not perfectly, not completely, but clearly enough to take the next step. And that is all you ever needed. Not the entire path, not every answer, just enough clarity to move forward with confidence. And that clarity is here now. It is present, it is real, and it is yours to carry beyond this moment. You may begin to notice how your energy feels different, lighter yet stronger, calmer yet more focused. This is not imagination. This is the result of alignment, the result of your thoughts, your awareness, and your attention coming into one place at the same time. And when that happens, something powerful is created, something stable, something clear, something that does not break easily. And this is where your true strength begins to show, not in force, not in resistance, but in clarity, in understanding, in the ability to see things as they are without confusion. And this strength will stay with you as long as you remember this moment, as long as you remember what you felt and what you realized here. There is no dramatic sound, there is no sudden explosion, there is no external sign that something huge just happened, but inside you everything has shifted in a way that cannot be undone. This is how real change works. It does not always announce itself loudly. It often happens quietly, deeply, in a way that only you can truly understand. And right now you are experiencing that kind of change, the kind that stays, the kind that shapes your decisions, your thoughts, your direction moving forward. This is not temporary. This is not something that fades when you leave this moment. This is something that becomes part of you, something that continues to guide you even when everything else feels uncertain. And now the second dangerous hook reveals itself, because once you have reached this level of awareness, you cannot go back to ignorance. You cannot unsee what you have seen. You cannot unknow what you have understood. And that means your choices from this point forward will carry more weight, more meaning, more intention. You are no longer moving blindly. You are no longer reacting without understanding. You are now aware, and awareness changes everything. It changes how you respond, how you decide, how you move. And with that comes a new level of responsibility, a new level of control over your own direction. And that is both powerful and challenging, because now you know that what comes next depends on you. Take a moment and feel what is happening inside you right now. Do not rush past it. Do not ignore it. This is the moment where everything settles into place, where the tension releases and the clarity becomes steady. You are no longer searching. You are no longer waiting for something to arrive, because you realize that what you were waiting for was not outside. It was this moment of understanding, this moment of alignment, this moment of realization. And now that you have reached it, everything else begins to fall into place naturally, without force, without confusion, without doubt. This is what it feels like when things start to make sense. Not partially but completely enough to move forward without hesitation. And now, as this moment comes to its final point, understand this clearly: nothing magical appeared out of nowhere. Nothing external changed instantly. What changed was you, your awareness, understanding, your ability to see clearly. And that is the real turning point, not something outside, but something within. Because once you change, the way you see everything around you begins to change as well. This is the true shift. This is the real breakthrough, the one that stays, the one that builds, the one that moves with you beyond this moment into whatever comes next. So do not forget this. Do not lose this. Do not treat this like just another passing experience. This was the moment where everything aligned, where everything made sense, where you stepped into a new level of awareness, and from here forward nothing will ever feel exactly the same again. The moment you thought you understood what was happening, something deeper begins to unfold, and now you can feel it more clearly than before. That strange pull is no longer subtle. It is stronger, heavier, almost impossible to ignore, like something inside you has already stepped forward. Even if your mind is still trying to catch up, you are no longer at the beginning. You have crossed a line silently without realizing it. And once that line is crossed, things do not go back to the way they were. This is where the real shift starts, not outside but within you, where thoughts begin to rearrange, where old patterns begin to loosen, where something hidden begins to rise to the surface, and you may not have words for it yet, but you can feel it like a quiet tension mixed with curiosity, mixed with a strange sense of knowing. This is not confusion, this is awakening in its earliest form, and right now you are standing in that fragile space between who you were and who you are about to become. If you stay just a little longer, something will reveal itself in a way you will not be able to ignore, something that has been waiting patiently for you to finally reach this exact moment. You might notice how your attention is different. Now you are not just reading, you are absorbing. You are not just hearing, you are feeling every word like it is meant specifically for you. This is not by accident. This is what happens when the noise fades and the mind becomes still enough to receive something deeper. Your surroundings may look the same, but your awareness is not the same anymore. Something has shifted quietly but powerfully, and with that shift comes clarity, but not all at once, not in a loud, obvious way, but slowly, piece by piece, like a puzzle revealing itself. And every second you stay here, another piece falls into place. Your past choices, your silent struggles, your unanswered questions, all of them begin to connect in ways you never noticed before. It is like stepping back and suddenly seeing the full picture instead of just fragments. And that picture is leading somewhere specific, somewhere important, somewhere you have been moving toward without even realizing it. And now listen carefully, because this is where the intensity rises again. There is a moment, approaching a moment that does not repeat, a moment that only reveals itself once and disappears forever if ignored. You have felt close to something before, but this time it is different. This time it is not just a feeling, it is an arrival. Something is reaching you, not in a physical way, but in a way that touches your awareness directly, like a sudden realization waiting to surface. And when it does, it will not ask for permission. It will simply appear clear, undeniable, impossible to push away. This is why your focus feels locked. This is why your mind keeps returning to this moment, because something inside you already knows what is about to happen. It is preparing you in silence. It is aligning you without your effort, and all you have to do is stay present just a little longer, because leaving now would mean walking away right before the answer arrives. There is a reason you have come this far. There is a reason you did not scroll away. There is a reason something inside you said, wait, because deep down you were searching for something more than distraction, more than noise, more than empty moments that pass without meaning. And right now you are closer to that meaning than you have been in a long time. But closeness comes With a test of patience, a test of attention, a test of whether you can stay when everything inside you wants to move, because the truth is simple. The biggest moments do not come when you are rushing, they come when you pause, when you stay, when you allow yourself to fully experience what is in front of you. And right now, this is that moment. This is where something important reveals itself not to everyone, but to the one who stays until the very end. Now, feel the change happening inside you. Feel how your thoughts are slowing down, how your focus is sharpening, how your awareness is becoming clearer. This is not something you forced, this is something that is happening naturally as you remain present. And with that presence comes understanding, an understanding that cannot be explained fully in words, but can be felt deeply, like a quiet realization forming in the background. Something about your life, something about your direction, something about what you have been missing, and as this realization grows, it begins to shift the way you see everything around you. What once felt confusing starts to make sense. What once felt heavy starts to lighten. What once felt uncertain starts to become clear. And this is only the beginning, because what comes next will take this understanding to a completely different level. Here is the dangerous hook. Most people reach this point and still miss it. They feel the buildup, they sense the shift, but they hesitate. They doubt, they step back at the exact moment they should move forward, and that hesitation cost them everything, because the moment does not wait, it does not repeat, it does not give second chances, and right now you are standing exactly where they once stood. You can either continue or you can leave, but you cannot do both, and the choice you make in the next few moments will decide whether this becomes just another passing experience, or something that stays with you long after it ends, something that changes the way you think, the way you see, the way you move forward in your life. So ask yourself honestly, are you going to stay, or are you going to walk away right before everything becomes clear? As you continue, something even deeper begins to unfold, something you were not expecting, something that goes beyond simple understanding. It feels like a quiet shift in your inner state, like a calmness mixed with intensity, like clarity mixed with anticipation. This is the point where awareness turns into realization, where observation turns into insight, and this insight is not random. It is connected directly to you, to your experiences, to your thoughts, to your journey so far. It is like everything you have been through is suddenly aligning into one clear direction, and that direction is not confusing, it is not uncertain, it is precise, it is intentional, and it is becoming clearer with every passing second, and the more you stay, the stronger this clarity becomes, until it reaches a point where it cannot be ignored anymore. You may begin to notice small details, things you would normally overlook, things that suddenly feel significant in ways you cannot fully explain. This is because your awareness has expanded, and once awareness expands, nothing looks the same anymore. The ordinary starts to feel meaningful, the simple starts to feel important, the unnoticed starts to stand out. And this shift in perception is not temporary. It is the beginning of something deeper, something that changes the way you experience everything around you. And right now you are stepping into that change, whether you realize it or not. Every second you remain here, you are moving further into this state, further into this awareness, further into this realization that something bigger is happening, something beyond just this moment, something that connects to your life in ways you are only starting to understand. And now the second dangerous hook appears, because what you are feeling right now is only the surface. What is coming next goes deeper, much deeper than most people are ready for. This is the point where reality itself begins to feel different, where your understanding begins to shift in ways that cannot be reversed. And once you reach that point, there is no going back to the way things were before. This is why many people never reach it. They turn away, they distract themselves, they avoid the intensity. But you are still here, which means you are already moving beyond that limitation. You are already stepping into something that most people never experience, and if you continue just a little further, you will reach a moment where everything connects instantly, where everything makes sense in a way that feels almost shocking in its clarity. Now everything is building toward that final realization, the moment where all the pieces come together, the moment where the tension releases and the understanding becomes complete. You are closer than you think, closer than you feel, closer than you have ever been before, and this is where most people make their final mistake. They lose focus, they break attention, they step away right before the breakthrough happens. Do not let that be you. Do not let this moment slip away after coming this far, because what is about to happen next is not small, it is not subtle, it is the turning point, the moment where everything you have felt so far transforms into something undeniable, something clear, something real. So stay with it, hold your focus just a little longer, because the next part is where everything finally reveals itself in a way you will never forget.